Hey folks, today we are taking a look at Power Rangers Wildforce Animus. Now, Animus is otherwise known as Gal God in Wildforce, yes, in Gal Ranger. Now, what we got here are repaints / remolds of the original 5 Zords. The biggest differences being just paint. We've got the Black Lion, the Cheetah or Leopard, Phoenix, Steer, I can't remember what kind of bull this is, and Sawtooth Shark. The biggest difference with the Sawtooth Shark is the front. This giant saw tooth. That's the only difference. Now with this guy, his big difference is the horns. Black Lion is just a repaint of Red Lion. Tiger or Leopard is just a repaint of Tiger. And Phoenix has a different head and tail from Eagle. The wings are exactly this. Well, no, not exactly the same. The wings are similar in shape, but the molding on the wings is just a little different, maybe. Just a little. Not really. Anyway, so each of these guys are okay on their own. The color scheme, as you can see, is much more earth-tony than what we have with Gao King or the Wildforce Megazord, except for Phoenix, which is blue for some reason compared to all the other guys. So let's go ahead and get him merged up. Merger is exactly the same. You could still do that Megazord train mode, though it doesn't work nearly as well because of Phoenix's big tail, which I'm not going to show you. If you want to see that mode, go check out my Wildforce Megazord / Gao King review. So there are the legs. Then we'll take the lion and fold up his legs and plop him into place. There we go. Then we take Phoenix and get Phoenix all ready to go. And plop that down into place. That. Tiger, same exact transformation as, or I should say merge sequence, as our Wildforce Megazord counterpart. Again. And Sawtooth Shark. You can remove the tail. The tail can be a weapon once again. I forgot to fold that up. And finally, the head reveal. And here we have Animus. Oop, horns aren't right. Sorry about that. So, as you can see, he is practically the same as the Wildforce Megazord / Gao King, except for the color palette, which is, as I said, much more muted. My only real complaint is the fact that Phoenix looks like a chicken hanging off the top of the head of the lion. I don't really care for that, but the rest of the figure is pretty cool and does look good. Now I do need to make a quick correction here. When I did the transformation, I was stupid and forgot that you're not supposed to actually fold up the Phoenix's wings. What you actually do is have them pointing up and out like that. So it's kind of flying. That is the correct way of deploying the wings. I really like Animus's head sculpt. It's obviously of a crown, but the face is very cool. Reminds me very much of a certain Autobot leader, if you will. And it's very nice and different compared to the Wildforce Megazord's face, which is a face within a face, kind of like Voltron, and then it has lips. So I like the more robotic looking face with the obvious crown. Besides the giant sawtooth hand, this figure does have another weapon, and that is a bow. What you do is you unpeg these pieces from the back of the Phoenix, and then twist the horns around. And then this section should either peg into or can be held by the tiger mouth. So what we do is, there we go. And there, we've got kind of a Animus bow and arrow going here. Is it effective? I think it's a kind of a silly weapon. It doesn't work all that well, especially considering the proportions of the figure and the fact that the Saw Shark can't really get its arm over there to fire, so that doesn't work at all. But hey, at least it's something. So here we have the two Megazords together. They look good together. I really like the fact that you have this muted color tone that represents something from the past, and then this bright and happy color tone that represents something from the present. I think that's a very interesting way of showing two different Zords like that. Now, I like Animus. I think having a darker color scheme just works for the character and for the figure. The figure is interesting. It just makes the whole thing look cool, especially when you compare it to the Wildforce Megazord. So, should you get it? Yeah, absolutely. If you're a fan of Wildforce, I would definitely pick up Animus. I think he's a great figure on his own, and if you don't have the Wildforce Megazord, this is a decent substitute for it. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely an interesting figure. Now, if you don't like the color scheme, there's nothing I can really do about that. But it's a good figure, and it's a lot of fun, so I would go ahead and pick it up if you can.